U.S. President Barack Obama says he's hopeful that Russia will make good on a new promise to curb violence in Ukraine. And if that doesn't happen, U.S. officials stand ready to impose more sanctions. But the average Russian still seems to support a defiant President Putin. Bianca Davie has more.
About a dozen Russian protesters gathered in front of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow on Thursday. Their message to U.S. President Barack Obama: stay out of our country's affairs.
We are here to show the unity of Russians in denial of the U.S. right to impose any sort of sanctions. I'm not just talking about Russia. I'm talking about any country of the world. This is not a way to influence a position of a sovereign state.
The group was so unfazed by the sanctions, which were first imposed last month after Crimea broke away from Ukraine and joined Russia, that they all but dared the U.S. to add their names to the list.
The majority of Russians support us. We have already gathered a big amount of signatures against the sanctions in social networks. America will see that Russia is not afraid of it, that Russia is a more powerful state.
Up until a few days ago, Russian President Vladimir Putin also shrugged off and even poked fun at attempts by the West to influence Russia's actions in southern and eastern Ukraine. But in a televised town hall-style meeting, he told the story of a Russian energy billionaire who has been unable to pay for his wife to have surgery because his bank card has been blocked by the West. Putin went on to say that the sanctions have nothing to do with common sense and that they violate human rights. Still, sanctions are seen as the Western world's most valuable tool in squashing tensions in Ukraine.
The point about sanctions is that it's a ladder. It's not a single act. It's a series of measures. It's a program for escalation. And gradually, I think we'll see the sanctions stepped up. And perhaps they're already deterring some actions, perhaps not. But as they get tighter, the potential for people at the top of the hierarchy in Russia to feel some real pain, I think, will increase.
Right now, less than 60 Russians are actually affected by travel bans and asset freezes imposed by the U.S. and the European Union. Bianca Davie, CCTV.